working on fashion brands and also an energy company in the corporate world. And she recently decided to turn into freelancer, so to help parents and small businesses with their digital marketing strategy. So I'm really excited today and welcome her today for this amazing webinar. So welcome, Maxine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good
Hello.
evening, everybody. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can hear me okay? Okay. So I'm going to start. So yeah, good evening, everybody, and
Yeah.
thank you for tuning in to this
Thank you.
tonight's webinar. As Dalia said, it's focused on 10 things that a small business owner should know about SEO. I think when you start a business, and particularly into digital marketing, and getting your business noticed online, it's quite easy to get caught up in social media and the platforms that you will get seen on. That often a small business owner will forget or not even know about SEO and how it can actually help their business. So that's what tonight's webinar is focused on. I'm gonna just do a little mini introduction. Okay, so who am I? So this is me. I'm Maxine. I run Digital Bonbons. I launched the business last December on the 31st. Great way to see in the new year, start things properly. And as Dalia said, I went full time on my business just a month ago. So yeah, so I'm a business owner. I'm a tea drinker. And I'm a film freak. If you ever go to a pub quiz and you need someone on a film section, I'm your lady. Hit me up, I will help you out. This is my husband, this is Patrick, so I thought I'd give you an introduction to the family. He's a drummer on a particular health kick at the moment. I think people are worried that he's having one of those midlife crises, but there's no earrings or Ferraris. I think we're safe. And as you can see, he likes to pull silly faces. And I am a parent as well. I'm a parent to Munchface, aka Ava, as her proper name. She's nearly 4, massive Beyonce fan, and yeah, definitely one of the funniest people I know. So that's a little bit about me. Also, just give you a hint on my background as well, that I've been in digital marketing for over 8 years. I started off in the fashion industry as a website and e-commerce manager, but also managing the social media, email marketing, and various other things. Oh no, I keep losing the sound. Oh, okay. I don't know why that is. Let me try. I'm going to try and sit as close to the screen as I can. Hopefully that will be okay. Let me know if it keeps popping out. So yeah, so I was in fashion, and then I've worked for various industries ever since, but constantly within digital marketing. And I joined when it was really starting to become a big impact for businesses, particularly social media, as I said. Facebook hadn't long launched in general, and businesses were really starting to jump on board with how to reach their customer through these new channels. So it was a really exciting time to be part of digital marketing when I joined. And yeah, obviously my business is focused on helping parent-focused businesses, so businesses that are targeted towards parents and children reach their target audience by getting seen online. So I'm going to start now with the 10 things that you should know about SEO. So first of all, we'll start with the very beginning. So what actually is it? So what is SEO? So SEO actually means search engine optimization, and it is basically the name of the processes that are used to improve your business's visibility to internet users and drive traffic to your website. So that's what SEO does. That's what its function is. It's all to drive website traffic and for you to appear in search engines. So for example, when someone goes to Google and they type in, as we all do, local, anything like local delivery for groceries, then if you've got a local grocer in your area, then they want to be found for those search results. They want to be found for those keywords. So that's what SEO is all about. The next thing I want to cover is obviously how does it work? So I think in order to understand SEO and particularly how to use it for your business, you need to know how it works. So for that as well, you need to understand the 3 basic stages for a search engine, so how a search engine works, how this all actually performs. When we're sitting there and we're on our mobiles or on our tablets or laptops and we're doing this search, and as we all do in our life, inside and outside of business, we're using search engines. We're searching for things, and it's bringing content back to us. It's bringing the results back that we see and we want to see. So how does this actually work? So 3 basic stages for a search engine. So there's crawling. So this is where I want you to imagine, and I know some people might not like spiders, but if you imagine kind of like millions and millions of spiders, and they all go out and they're crawling. They're crawling every single web page that ever exists. So they're out there and they're gathering the information. And then what they do is that it gets brought back, and this is where it's indexed, so it's analysed and it's stored in huge databases. The biggest kind of image I can think of for this is if you've ever seen Bruce Almighty. I told you I'm a bit of a film fan. You know, where he opens the cabinet and it goes right across the room, and obviously this is all his memories. You kind of think of the internet as a massive filing cabinet in Bruce Almighty. That's what's happening when it's indexing. And then the next thing is obviously the retrieval. So this is where us as users type in a question or a search term, and the retrieval of all that crawling, all that indexing by the search engine will bring back a list of relevant pages for us to look at. So it's bringing us back the results of what we're trying to find. And that is a search engine. The next thing I want to cover here is obviously what does SEO look like? So when you're looking at search results, I'm going to actually show you what these different parts mean. So for example, this is a search term that I put into Google. I used baby nappy cakes. And over here, you can see I've pasted some search results that came up when I did this. Now, one thing I really want to highlight to you here is this title tag. Now, this is the title of this particular website's page that has been brought through under this search term. So baby nappy cakes - gifts for any occasion. That's the title tag of the page. Now, as it says here, it specifies the title of your web page. It's what gets displayed in the search result, and the title tag is really, really important. You need it to be concise, specific. You want your keyword first, and then your business name for better discovery. Ideally, a title tag should be between 50 and 60 characters, and you must make sure that every title tag for your pages is unique. You can't repeat these title tags. It's really bad for your SEO. So you need to make sure that they are all unique and they do all have a keyword in that's specific for that page that you want to be found for. I'll give you a little example again of this in a minute. The next thing that you'll see in a search, which is search engine results, is you'll see the meta description or the snippet. Now these are really important as well, because under the title tag, and obviously the green there is the URL of the actual web page, these snippets are what are going to entice the buyer to click through to your page. So here you really want to sell what this page is about. You want to make them click. So ideally you need a meta description that's between 135 to 160 characters long, and obviously you can write these in Word and do a word count on them just to check the length and everything for them. And like I said here, it's what entices people to click through along with the title tag. Now, as you can see here, now this baby nappy cakes, I'm sorry it's a little bit blurry, but the baby nappy cakes my ultimate gift. So it says here, baby nappy cakes, you can see the keyword, it's highlighted as well. So whenever a keyword is used, you can see that it's highlighted in bold. There we go, see the baby nappy cakes, there's the keyword there, baby nappy cakes. It's run by me, Katie, and then she put based in Hickney, Leicestershire, as a mother to 3, aged 16 and 9 and 5, I have used my experience, and then it goes ... So the problem with this is that she hasn't thought about her meta description. It's not concise, it's too many words, and it's actually being cut off for the user. If you compare that to people like Amazon here, and even Tesco's, you know, there's no ... Amazon's one is actually a little bit short. Should be a bit longer than that. But Tesco, for example, you know, there's no ... situation happening. They're telling you, give us something a little different at your next baby shower with a range of nappy cakes. Tesco, shop online today for easy home delivery. So they're highlighting how you could just shop online and get them, and you've got easy home delivery. No fuss, no mess, concise. And that's what you want from these meta descriptions. again, down here, you can see here with Coochie Nappy Cakes. So Nappy Cakes, they mention, I mean, that's also the title there of the homepage. We have a large selection of new baby gifts for all new baby occasions. We specialise in creating adorable, affordable, ... So I'm guessing it's nappy cakes, but who knows? Who knows what could be lurking between the after the ... So it's really important that you keep those concise and direct, and just think, what would make you click? You use the internet, you search for things. So what would make you click on a brand that you haven't come across before, or one that you've searched, you know, it uses a search term or a keyword search term, and you've been brought through these new brands, you know, what would make you click and actually investigate that further? If you put that hat on when you're thinking about your own SEO, you know, you're going to encourage the right people to click through, because you'll be thinking about, well, what would make me click? And it really does help. So here, for example, again, I'm just going to give you an example. So I've reworded the title tag and the meta description for the Coochie nappies. So here you can see I've done the title tag as baby shower gifts, and then I've put the brand name or business name after the vertical line. The keyword is baby shower gifts, business name, and then I've written looking for the perfect baby shower gifts ? At Coochie Coo, we have a range of baby nappy cakes for your baby shower needs. Click here to see our range. So I'm using the keyword in the meta description. It's 148 characters with spaces, so it's well within the remit, and it's more enticing. You know, you're asking the audience a question, because obviously, if I'm typing in baby shower gift, the chances are I am looking for the perfect baby shower gift, and then it's enticing me to click through and see the range. So when you are looking at these title tags and your meta descriptions for every page of your website, really think carefully about what you want to be found for, so your keywords. Think about how you structure your title tags and what you're writing for your pages, because this is what's going to entice the user. By using the keyword at the beginning of your title tag and then your business name, it actually increases your chance of being found within search engine results, because people search a lot by keyword. So the more you can use that at the beginning of your title tag, the better. So there are two types of SEO. There's the on-site SEO, which is basically what we've been talking about there in terms of your title tags, your meta description, so the things you're actually putting in the CMS of your website, the admin panel of your website, what you're calling your pages, the content that's on your pages. It's whatever you're doing behind the scenes to make yourself rank better in search results. Now, the off-site SEO is exactly what it says on the tin. It's your activity off of your website. For example, your social media, any link building that you do between writing for another blog or a guest blog writing for you and you sharing the links. That is off-site SEO. It wasn't, you know, social media didn't always used to get ranked for SEO. You know, when it first started out, it wasn't a ranking factor at all. But because of the popularity of social media and how we all interact on these platforms these days, I think it was about 4 years ago that it started ranking for SEO. And a good way as well is, you know, have a look and see how you are ranking. So put in your business name and have a look and see how your social platforms are ranking. Do they appear higher than your website? In some cases, they do. And then other platforms could be, you know, a couple of search pages away. So it really just helps you get an idea of, well, how are these performing, and are they actually helping me rank for things? You'll also see as well, when you do search for yourself, you can see where you've had links from other pages as well. And I think it is really important to just do a test as if a blind user would, and try and find yourself, like search for the key terms. Do you pop up? Do you not? Do your competitors do? But what keyword are you putting in that your competitors are showing up for, but you're not showing up for? So it can really give you clues with doing that bit of investigation to see what you can do on your site, but also what other activity you can do to strengthen your SEO. So social media. So yeah, so I've just kind of touched on this a little bit with the off-site side of things. But yeah, your social activity does help you rank in search engines. So you will see as well, if you use Google Analytics, which I'll touch on a little bit later as well, you can see in there, like when you do the breakdown of your traffic and where your website traffic has come from, you can do the breakdown in terms of seeing how social has played a part in that. And if you click further, you can see as well what platforms have actually contributed to that traffic. So it's really important that you do check on these things, because a lot of our efforts these days are going into our social media marketing, but it also can help you look at what platforms are actually working for you, because more often than not, some small businesses will launch on every single platform going, and unfortunately spread themselves way too thin, and then they're struggling to understand why isn't it actually getting any return. And it could be because you're on ones that aren't necessarily working for your business. So using kind of data like this and a bit of investigatory SEO-ness, you can actually look and see what is performing for you. So content, obviously content for SEO is absolute king. It always has been and it always will be. So it's really important when you're writing your website content, think about how you want to be found. So think about those keywords. In some cases, it's actually easier to do a bit of a keyword research before you start writing your content, because then you can actually look at how you can incorporate those keywords into your content. So it all kind of pieces together. And that's the thing about digital marketing. It's not just social, it's not only website, it's not only email. It is very much about everything working together to form a powerhouse, because it does. Your website content influences your SEO can influence your social and how you're found, and it all really does go in the same pot. So looking at your website content, I'd ask yourself, like, when was the last time you looked at your website content that you've had on there? Was it when you launched the site 2 years ago? Does it still make sense? Does it still represent your business of how you want to be seen? Has your business evolved since then? Have a read through and look at what is old, and maybe where you're missing a couple of tricks. If you provide life coaching, for example, for busy working mothers, and that's what you do. And obviously, if someone was Googling life coach for busy mums, that's a keyword that you'd want to be found for. So do you actually say that in your content? Because if you talk in your content and going off on a complete tangent, then chances are you're going to drive the wrong people to your website. And you will also see that as well potentially with the bounce rate of your website in Google Analytics. Are you driving a lot of people, but then they're bouncing off because they realise they've come to the wrong thing? Which can often happen sometimes when people play around with the Google AdWords. I've seen that happen before. One wrong keyword can make a right mess. So it is really important to keep your content fresh. The lifespan of a website as well is roughly about 18 months. So if you've had your website for longer than then, it really is time to look at the content, look at the design, look at the layout. How can you change things up and keep it enticing for the user? And also keep it interesting as well, because obviously, depending on your business model, whether it's product, whether it's service, you do want people to convert. So you do need to speak to what they're looking for. So ask yourself that question: what are your customers looking for? And can you provide the answer to those questions? Now, I mentioned obviously in the title tags and the meta description about keywords, and it is really, keywords are so important, for all the reasons I mentioned in your content, in your title tags, in your meta description, and also don't be afraid to use those keywords in social as well, because again, search for the keyword can bring up your social platforms if you've got a post about that, or if it's in your Instagram bio or your about on Facebook. But the real important thing is to just not go crazy with the keywords. I've seen a really bad example before, and it's used on various SEO websites about this knife company, and they basically put every different kind of knife you could get, and it was all in the meta description. So sharp knife, cutlery knife, butcher knife, file knives, and it was just mental. So I kind of laugh, and it just makes me laugh when I think back to it, really. But obviously that's just absolutely, it's spamming, and it's cramming the content in. So you don't want to be using, So I wouldn't have, for example, even down to label as an image, I wouldn't call my image digital bonbons dash digital marketing dash digital in Kent dash Maxine digital bonbons. You know, you have to be strategic with these things. Think of the page that you're focusing on. So, for example, if you're looking at something like wedding photography, for example, and one of your pages is obviously about wedding albums, you know, then wedding albums is your keyword, or beautiful wedding albums, or something that someone is going to search for. And that's where you want to play the focus. You don't want to kind of, it's called keyword stuffing, where you then try and fit in the keyword as many times as possible in the content. So if you're writing a paragraph, for example, you don't want to talk about beautiful wedding albums in every single line. So you need to just think about what you're writing, and it needs to be user friendly. So yeah, so it is about using the right keyword that's relevant for the page that you're talking about. Just like on Instagram, where they were looking at hashtags a little while ago about using irrelevant hashtags, and then they kind of put that myth out there about shadow banning, and you know, and there was all this kind of scare about you need to use the relevant hashtags for the post that it's being shown, rather than trying to fit in all these other hashtags about what you're about in general. It's exactly the same kind of thing here. So think smart and think strategic. Another important thing about SEO as well is just knowing the myths, and one of the biggest ones is to do with Google Ads, which is also called pay-per-click advertising. Now, the important thing to remember with this is doing Google Ads or pay-per-click has no effect on your SEO whatsoever. Essentially, you are paying for an ad space, no different to paying for an ad space in a magazine, but at the top of a search result. So it isn't actually going to improve your organic SEO. You're literally just paying for that space. And pay-per-click advertising for Google, depending on what industry you're in as well, it can be quite competitive. The keywords can be quite high, and sometimes you do need quite high budgets to really make a dent of it. And also you need to actually prepare for a bit of time as well to make that work. It's not a quick win, and I think that's the overall message with SEO as well. SEO is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And that's the important thing, really. You can't, it's a long game, and SEO is all about the long game. It's about growth, it's about development, it's about, you know, creating those keywords and creating the right content. And it isn't one of those things where you'll just make a couple of changes and you'll see a drastic difference overnight. It does take time. And I think that's one of the things that throws people off quite a bit with SEO, is because it does take time. Oh, am I cutting up? Oh, sorry. I'm trying to sit really close to my screen. I'm on number 9 already, so it's quite a short presentation, because obviously, you know, SEO is quite an in-depth subject, and also I thought I'd allow a decent amount of time for questions as well. So number 9 is Google, and Google really is your friend. One of the important things for SEO as well is to verify your website in Google. So if you don't know what this means, it's basically letting Google know that you are the owner of this site. It's proving that you are the owner, which not only allows you to see certain levels of data, but it also can affect how Google crawls for your site. So it really is letting Google know that you're there, really, and you exist and you own this website. There's a great tool as well. It used to be called Webmaster Tools, and it's called Google Search Console now, and that's where you would go to verify your website in Google. If you've got a Google Analytics account or a Gmail email address, you will be able to log in using the same details for the Google Search Console. How you verify your website really does depend on the different platforms you're on. So, for example, Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, they all have various different methods of how they can help you verify your website. I do know quite a few of the links for each of those. So if anyone does need those, obviously just let me know, and you can contact me on my details that I'll share at the end, and I can send you those links of where to find those. But Google Search Console is a very good tool. It will let you know if there's any problems that Google's having crawling your website. If any pages are in error, so for example, it might still have data on a page that you launched, but now you've taken it down. It can let you know that. It will let you know that the SEO and the Google is all kind of working for you, and there's no errors going on. So it really is a good tool. It also helps and gives you insight into how to plan your SEO. So there is a section in there called queries, and this actually lists what people have put into a search engine where your website has then come up. So it does help you look at what the user is doing. Google Analytics will show you some of this as well, but the Google Search Console does give you that next level of insight. And that's also really good if you are then looking at doing something like Google AdWords, because you can have a little look at, well, what the keywords are, how competitive they are, how much the cost per click is, so what kind of budget you need. So this is a really, really good tool, and it's free. It is there to use. So make the most of it. Another couple of tools to help is Google Analytics. If you've got a website, I highly recommend that you create a Google Analytics account and you connect it to your website. Any CMS system will give you some kind of analytics. Shopify does, Wix does, Squarespace does, but they won't ever give you the level of detail that a Google Analytics account can give you on your customer, your user behavior, the performance of your website, the performance of your content. It really does, and the performance of your sales as well. It can give you some really good product analysis in there, and it really helps you strengthen your whole digital marketing strategy. There's so many stats and data within Google Analytics that can help actually shape how you want to market your business for the next year, or even the next 6 months, next month. It can really help you look at where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, and how you can actually move the business forward within your marketing. It can also generate content ideas. It's a really, really fabulous tool. So if you haven't got Google Analytics set up for your website, I really do recommend doing that, because you're missing out on some really fantastic data about your users. And the other tool is the Google Keyword Planner. So this is really useful. Like I said, if you are looking at doing AdWords, you can access it without actually committing to doing AdWords. It's great for some research. It's great to use for planning that content and planning those keywords. You can have a search and look at how many users search for a particular keyword in a month, so that you know how competitive it is. So the likelihood of you appearing in those searches could be quite tricky. But then alternatively, if you choose a keyword that isn't so competitive and has less people looking for it, is that worth using? It could be. It really does depend how niche you want to go with your buyers. A lot of local businesses really need to focus on the local SEO, so they come up here for local search using things like Google My Business and local keywords as well about their location. Putting that into their image tags and into their content. So Google Keyword Planner is a really useful tool for looking at that. And like I said, and also planning, if you are looking at spending any budget to get some ad space at the top of search results, then this can give you a good idea of how much you could be looking at spending. I remember in the fashion industry, obviously dresses, vintage dresses, I worked for a vintage inspired brand, and vintage dresses was an incredibly high cost per click. Same as energy as well. When I worked in the energy industry, you could be looking at small business energy broker, and it could be something like £30 just for a click. So it can be a bit of an expensive game, but this can help you work out what keywords could work for you. But like I said, it's useful for other ways as well, for actually creating that content, and it can just give you some good ideas. And again, both of them are absolutely free, so definitely use them. That actually, well, it's the end. That's the 10. Like I said, I've kept it quite short and concise, because it is those kind of 10 basic things that a small business owner should be aware of, that should know about SEO and making it work for their business. I put my contact details up there, so I'm just going to take a sip of water. My email address is up there, so if you do want to email me about any of the SEO bits and pieces that I've talked about, please drop me an email. My website's there as well, and also you can find me on Facebook and Instagram with my username there. But yes, I hope that's been okay. I hope it was useful. Yes, and thank you so much for attending and for listening. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maxine. And I think now we'll open up the floor to you guys if you have any questions specifically about your businesses. For Maxine, we have a few minutes left, so please, if you have any questions, go ahead. You can type them in the chat box, and Maxine will be happy to answer them.